Welcome back, everybody out there in listener land, to the House Flipping Golden Nuggets podcast. This is, of course, a shorter version of a much longer show that we've been putting on for a long time called The Real Deals Podcast. As I've said before in the intro, you can find us at therealdealspodcast.com. But this show is a shorter version, a little bit of bite-sized information that you can use to take your real estate investing business to the next level. Now, on this week's show, we extracted a golden nugget from one of our older episodes that really rings true even to today. It's kind of timeless information, we'll say, in terms of marketing for deals. And if you're not marketing for deals right now, going direct to seller, you're probably having a real tough time finding deals with a whole lot of meat on the bone. And so this week's golden nugget, or this week's tip, is all about picking the right types of neighborhoods to market to in order to really help your deal flow. And so we really talk about kind of classifying neighborhoods A, B, C, D, E, and I don't ever want to go there. And so, you can really pick which one of those types of neighborhoods that you want to market to in order to try and generate deal flow. And so we talk about really trying to stick with those B minus areas that generate a little bit more response rate, a little bit more deal flow, and ultimately that can bring you consistency with your real estate investing business. So without further ado, let's get into this week's golden nugget.
I'm going to talk to you about a trick that you can use when using direct mail in your business and marketing direct to homeowners in order to try and get deals. So right now there's a higher level of competition than has been out in the market for a while when it comes to direct mail. Some of the competition that I've noticed, at least here in my market, is good, some of it's decent, and some of it flat out sucks. But the bottom line is that there is more competition. So that means sellers that are in highly desirable neighborhoods that have a house that maybe it's a non-owner occupied rental property with them, for them that they have a lot of equity in, or it's a rundown dilapidated POS, or it's a smaller home in a really high dollar neighborhood. In these neighborhoods that are A to A plus type neighborhoods, these homeowners are getting a lot of mail in their mailboxes. And so if you're going to mail to those people, you really got to step up your game and give them a reason to contact you above and beyond your competition. So you can play that game. We do it all the time. But here's a golden nugget for you if you're going to continue to do direct mail in your business. Mail to these A plus and A minus neighborhoods and try and get those great houses that everybody wants. But my golden nugget for you is to also mail to the B minus, B plus neighborhoods that maybe aren't quite as desirable, but since the market's so hot right now, people will still gladly pay you whatever it is that you want, really, for a decent wholesale deal that's in those B minus, B plus neighborhoods. Inventory is at a minimum right now, so really anywhere you get it, it should be pretty easy for you to sell to a rehabber. And then also, if you're going to keep it and rehab it, those B-type neighborhoods are selling really well right now too, especially those that are surrounding higher dollar areas. So if you have a higher dollar neighborhood and then on the outskirts of that you have a more affordable type neighborhood, that's where you're going to find these B-type neighborhoods. And so the golden nugget for you this week, just to be clear, is to start mailing those B plus, B minus neighborhoods. And the reason being is because those homeowners probably are not getting as much direct mail as the homeowners that have houses in the A neighborhoods. And so if you can get your message to them, there's a higher likelihood that they will give you a call and you can put together a deal and there'll be less competition all around. So that's this week's golden nugget. If you're using direct mail in your business, try it out. I know it'll help your deal flow and it will ultimately help your bottom line.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's Golden Nugget House Flipping Podcast. Hopefully you got a lot of value from this week's tip. We'll be back again next week, or maybe even before that. We're going to drop these episodes fairly frequently so that we can get this information out to you guys in small, bite-sized chunks so that you can take full advantage of it. Again, if you want to hear more from me, feel free to search on iTunes for The Real Deals Podcast, and you can subscribe to that. It's our full-length show. Or you can go to therealdealspodcast.com and you can put your name and email address in, and you'll be notified whenever any new episodes of The Real Deals Podcast or this podcast are dropped. And you can also get a copy of our free Direct Mail Millions ebook that talks all about how to use direct mail to go direct to sellers, which we do talk a fair bit about as we get into some of the golden nugget tips that are in this show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's show. We'll see you on the next one.